Hello, everybody. Hello, Aaron. Welcome to Trek on Tuesday. It's an awesome episode for multiple reasons. Yes, we have giveaways, so comment along with today's show if you want to win some pretty sweet merch we're going to talk about here in a minute. But, Aaron, I don't think that you and I can describe this better than what we have queued up.
Yes, it's going to be a really fun next half hour. So, Gina, like you said, giveaways. We're talking high adventure. Most importantly, we have some really fun, cool people who are going to join us live on site. Did we mention giveaways? And there's a really cool video, Gina, that we'd like to show that I think kind of tells folks what they're getting into at the National Scouting America's National High Adventure Bases. I say we roll that and let's get this bad boy started.
Let's do it.
At the Boy Scouts of America, we operate 4 high adventure bases. In the Florida Keys, the Sea Base awaits. This base offers incredible opportunities for sailing, scuba diving, and fishing in the crystal clear waters of the Florida Keys, U.S. Virgin Islands, and Bahamas. Located in West Virginia, the Summit Bechtel Reserve offers adrenaline-pumping activities, including world-class mountain biking, zip lining, climbing sports, skateboarding, and nearby whitewater rafting on the New River. Northern Tier is located on the boundary waters between Minnesota and the Canadian border. Whether you choose to embark on a serene canoe trip during the summer or an epic dog sledding adventure in the winter, Northern Tier is the perfect destination. Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico offers opportunities for backpacking and horseback treks in the eastern edge of the Rocky Mountains. Over the past 75 years, it has been a life-changing experience for millions of scouts. These 4 bases provide unique and amazing opportunities for world-class, high-adventure activities that are only available to members of the BSA. To join us and experience the adventure of a lifetime, visit scouting.org/adventure-treks.
Very cool. Yes, everybody, we are talking high adventure base registration. We are lucky enough to get a live look at 3 of our high adventure bases today. If you want a little bit more information, you're already sold, go to scouting.org/adventure-treks. And maybe right before we bring on our first guest, let's break this way down. Let's say you're a newish family to scouting. You have a youth and scouts BSA. You're like, what are the high adventure bases? Mm-hmm. We have some supercharged camps around the country that are full of more treks, we call them, than you can imagine. All kinds of adventures your scout unit can get involved in. But the trick is you've got to register really early and relatively for these things because they fill up. And we're going to talk about what these treks look like, what these camps look like here in just a minute. But this is, I think, what scouting's all about. I think it comes up again and again as a scout's favorite memory. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I hear it all the time. I've talked to a lot of scouts over the years, current scouts, former scouts, and when they talk about their visits to the high adventure bases, Gina, the word pinnacle, I hear often about all 4 of the high adventure bases. It is the highlight of any scout who goes. It's the highlight of their experience. Registration opens in January, so we're giving you guys a few weeks advance notice. And the reason why is because you got to be prepared. You got to know what you're getting into. Like Gina said, these are like summer camps, but they're like high adventure summer camps. They're summer camps on steroids. They're summer camps to the extreme, where you can participate in a lot of really, really fun, exciting. I mean, these are things that most people don't get to do on their own. I think that's safe to say, right? Not very many people get to do the kind of stuff on their own that you can do at a Scouting America High Adventure Base.
Yes, and at the end of today's show, we're going to talk about how can you make sure you can afford this? How do you raise funds? Are there scholarships available? Like, what if you just want to do this alone? We'll get into all that. But to Aaron's point, the reason we're talking about this now, before registration opens, is because this is the time where you want to get together with your buddies and say, hey, do we want to do this? Do we think we can make this happen? And just to let you in on a little secret, no one's ever like, yeah, we have the money, like, let's do this. It'll be no problem. It's like you have to commit to this and then you build the way to make it happen. It's very doable. The path is out there for you. We'll get way more into that. Love to see the comments. Jason says it's always a good visit to Northern Tier High Adventure. Jason, we're heading out there pretty soon.
Yeah, we are.
Rob said you had me at giveaway, which I think, we're heading to the summit first. So I think we have some summit swag to give away. I believe we have a hat, and I got a glimpse of this hat. I actually wanted to win it myself. Guess who I randomly drew to win it?
Who?
Rob.
We
What do
have
you
our
have?
first winner of the day. That's so cool. Congratulations, Rob. We do have many more items to give away, including one more item from the summit itself. Speaking of the summit, I mean, really, Gina's at home. I'm at an office right now. We're in boring locations. I think we have somebody live on the scene at the summit, behind the scenes. Do you read us, Bill? Can you read us?
I hear you loud and clear.
It
Hey,
is.
Bill.
It's so
Hey, how
good to
are
see
you?
Bill. He's coming to us live from the Summit Bechtel Reserve at West Virginia. You said it got a little bit of break from rain today. How are things looking out there, Bill?
It's going great. We've been kind of snowed in. The lake behind me was frozen over last week, so things
Oh,
are
wow.
warming up a little bit. Yeah.
That is just the quintessential view I have of the summit. I'm seeing it all right there. It's bringing me back. But honestly, I'm just looking from the very far outside, right? Like way back in there, there's all kinds of adventure. I want to get right to the meat of this. When folks are thinking of registering, what are some of the top adventures that they might be considering that might make them go ahead and click that button and register for a trek at the summit?
Yeah, so probably our two most popular adventures would be the New River experience, and Pack and Paddle is a really popular one, along with the Summit experience. So a little biased. The New River is kind of where my heart lives. The New River Gorge is one of the nation's newest national parks, and our trek sends our scouts out there for 5 days. So you're starting off in an inflatable kayak, kind of learning the ropes. And the river just progressively gets more exciting and more difficult as you go. And that all culminates with some pretty big class 4 whitewater rafting in the world famous lower New River Gorge.
That is awesome. Yeah, I'm old enough to remember, Bill, when the BSA or Scouting America only had only had 3 national high adventure bases. There are now 4. It's our newest national park. Like you said, also the summit is our newest national high adventure base. You mentioned the New River. I mean, really world-class whitewater rafting. Like if you ask somebody, where's the best place to go in North America whitewater rafting, the New River is going to be pretty high on that list. There's another activity out there that also is pretty cool, and that's rock climbing. Can you tell us a little bit of that, Bill?
Yeah, absolutely. So the New River is certainly a climbing mecca. But what we have that's really cool here is part of our Summit Experience program. You're going to get to access several of our climbing locations. So we've got the rocks as well as Boulder Cove. And so those activities include everything from kind of bouldering, and then it's progressive learning. So we've got routes from the beginner and then stuff that's hard enough for, even experienced climbers can find a challenge.
So cool. Every adventure base has something very unique to offer. Like to me, I could never pick a favorite, and I genuinely mean that. But the summit is super cool because you get a little sampling of everything. I mean, we're barely scratching the surface. And this is something maybe, I don't know if we've ever talked about this on a high adventure base trek on Tuesday, but you'll also have like lots of sweet merch. Like you think you're out in the wilderness in the backwoods, and you definitely are, but you're not out of civilization in some ways. Like there is still cool food, cool vendors. Like it's a pretty cool place to be. Also, we gave that hat away at the top of the show. Do you have it handy by chance?
I do.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Look at that. I want that. Rob's getting to take that home, lucky guy.
Rob should share that with us for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you want one, we have more in the store, so you can always.
Oh, so how would we go about purchasing that?
You could get on the Summit's website and just click on shop, and our store is called The Bunker. They can get you taken care of.
Very cool. You can order online. You can also find out more about the summit if you are considering registering for a trek out there. SummitBSA.org is where you want to head. I'm wondering if we can put that URL up again too for learning more about high adventure bases. In general, if you're wanting to check out the adventure treks, you'll want to go there. I think you have a chance to put your email in there so you can get in the loop right now. Know the second that registration opens and register. Pretty important stuff. Also really appreciate that we're getting an outdoor look at the summit. We don't always. And so rain is kind of part of the experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Some years we get enough rain to be considered a temperate rainforest. So don't forget your rain gear when you come to the summit. But, that's what feeds these rivers that we have so much fun on here. That's certainly what brought me to the area. And it's just so cool to get to share that with scouts from all over the world.
Yeah, and we are just another minute or so away from giving away our second item. All you have to do to win, folks, is comment. You could also maybe tag a friend. I'm just saying, if you're interested, tag a friend. That counts as a comment. enters you for a chance to win. Hey, maybe it introduces somebody else to the summit. Few items real quick, or excuse me, activities, Bill, at the summit. Kind of what I think we used to call extreme sports, skateboarding, BMX biking, right? There's all kinds of kind of cool activities that, I mean, really, again, it wasn't that long ago that wasn't necessarily what you thought of with scouting, right? You didn't necessarily think of skateboarding, right? Talk about those programs though at the summit and how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. We're super lucky here. We've got one of the largest concrete skate parks in the country. We've got BMX, pump tracks, and those are all kind of set up as progressive learning. So again, if somebody's new to it, maybe wanting to try it, this is the perfect place to do that. And that's really what our Summit Experience program is designed for. So you're going to come out and get more or less a sample of all these high adventure venues, everything from downhill mountain biking to zip lining, canopy tours, whitewater. But the skate parks are super popular. So yeah, that's a great thing we've got here.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
It's hard to believe that this time has slipped away so fast. I'm about to let everybody know who our winner of our summit t-shirt is. Oh, there it is. Glimpse that. That's another piece of merch. I'm guessing you
River
can
Gorge bridge on there for you.
Yeah, that's a famous bridge right there. If you guys aren't familiar with that, look it up. That's a really famous kind of iconic location. Great to have that, the summit so nearby.
Yes, as the kids say, iconic. Absolutely. Bill, before we do this, what have we missed? Is there anything else you want to make sure the good people out there know as they are thinking about treks?
Yeah, so for 2026 in particular, it is an abbreviated season because we are hosting the Jamboree. So we hope you get here for that. But if you are looking to get on one of our treks, availability is limited. So I think it's going to go pretty quick. So just be on the lookout for that January 14th registration because it's a little bit limited compared to most years.
Yeah, January 14th is the day people can start registering. It will stay open for a while after that, but we are encouraging everybody sign up sooner rather than later. Get with your scoutmaster, your troop leader, your council, your district, whoever, and ask them, hey, what are we doing? Are we going to the summit? Where are we going? Now is the time to do that. Gina, I'm going to ask you to run through your super fast, advanced comment picker. While you do that real quick, I'll just tell a very, very brief story. Bill, I got to interview David Montgomery, NFL running back, no big deal, official Scouting America spokesperson. He told me a story that he was at the summit as a scout, as a kid, and one of his most memorable experiences was skateboarding. He had never done it before, coming from kind of the inner city, and he fell on his butt really, really hard the first time he did it. And he said people from the summit came by and helped him back up, got him up. He did it again. He was successful. He says, that kind of epitomizes to him what scouting means. I thought that was a pretty cool story. You guys, who knows who the next David Montgomery is out there? Gina, do we have a winner?
Yes, I was just going to add on, if you go out there out to the skateboarding area, you can see a lot of people that are persevering through falls, getting back up and trying to get in, which is pretty cool.
It's a lot like that's what we do in scouting, right? Yeah. We teach folks how to take risk, but also be safe, right? And you're going to fall down every once in a while. You're not going to really hurt. You're just going to bust your bum a little bit. You get back up, you try it again. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Definitely a fun, unique area. Okay, we've got to move on, which is so sad. Bill, come back on the show. We could obviously do a whole show on the summit and have a million times, and we will a million times. So, yeah, come back. You have an open invite. Our winner of that sweet shirt that Lisa likes a lot is Eugene Mastrangelli. Love it.
Congratulations, Eugene. That's awesome. All he had to do to win that shirt, Gina, was comment. That's all he had to do. And we have prizes. Swag from 2 more high adventure bases coming up. I think Northern Tier is next. Northern Tier, do you read us?
Bye, Bill.
Are you there?
Thanks,
Bill. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited for Northern Tier. It's Blake.
There's our man Blake on the scene at Northern Tier. You might notice Blake is inside. There's a reason for that. How's the weather up there right now, Blake?
Chilly.
What do you mean there's no reason for it? Blake goes outside all the time, and he's actually established a tradition that I think we're going to carry out today and actually head outside. Am I right, Blake?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Give us an overview before you do that, Blake, of Northern Tier. Tell us about the programs and what you guys have to offer up there.
Yeah, so we're up here in northern Minnesota, which is kind of a foreign landscape compared to a lot of other places in the U.S. We're in the boreal forest where we have just so many lakes that we like to canoe on. So whereas, some other places you might put all of your gear in a backpack and walk with it, we put all of our stuff in a canoe and just paddle throughout the lakes. You can travel in pretty much any direction you want to go. We've got world-class fishing, beautiful cliffs, campsites where you're just away from everyone. It's a really special area up here. Our treks our big thing is wilderness. So when you go out with your crew, you carry everything you need for your trek. You don't get a resupply. You're with your crew for the entire trek, 6 to 14 days. And you're just out there. You're with your crew. You get to experience it. You get to travel and experience the solitude and the awesomeness that is the North Woods. So that's kind of our summer program, and our winter program, which we are in the midst of right now as winter is settling in. We do cross-country skiing, dog sledding, snowshoeing. We build quinzies. We just enjoy the snow. We teach scouts how to thrive in the winter. It's not a survival course. It's about how to have fun when it's cold outside.
Northern Tier is a one-of-a-kind place, and you're going to see that firsthand in just a second here. But something we're going to do that's very exciting right now is our first giveaway from Northern Tier, one of two. So keep commenting if you want a chance to win and you don't win right now. But luckily, Erica Rachel Reed, who was asking, where do I comment in her comment?
You commented in the right place.
Erica, you win.
Yeah, to answer Erica's question, you can comment on the BSA Facebook page, any Facebook page, YouTube, it doesn't matter. We've got some super advanced software. We can see all your comments. And Erica has just won that water bottle that Blake is showing off there. Very, very cool. Blake, kind of like the Summit. The Summit is an iconic location for whitewater rafting. Northern Tier, again, for canoeing. If you had to just pick a random place in North America to go canoeing, a lot of folks would choose the Boundary Waters. That's what is so cool. We have this high adventure base. It's right. People would die for this opportunity. It's an amazing opportunity that scouts have. That's during the summer. Now, today it's December 10th. Let's see. The temperature here in Texas is 46, which is pretty chilly for down here. How is it? What is it right there, Blake?
It is 15 degrees here in Ely, and we just got 7 inches of snow over the past 24 hours.
Your Facebook page says the same. Lots of snow, and staff are preparing for the first crew to arrive. Very cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, I would love to see what it looks like.
Let's go outside. We got to.
Let's head out.
Let's do it.
While you're heading there, Aaron, you brought up a good point. We don't really talk about it this way, but being a part of scouting and an older youth in scouting puts you in kind of an exclusive group that can take advantage of the high adventure bases. Not everybody can do this right now, not at least in this capacity. So pretty cool.
Yeah,
okay.
That's exactly right. You have to be a 13 and up, I think, in most high adventure bases. Have to be in pretty good physical condition because this is an adventure base for a reason, right? You can see even walking through the snow like that. How cool does that look, Gina?
Oh, I mean, it's totally foreign from what I'm looking at outside my window right now.
Yes, exactly. Blake, what are we looking at? Where are you there?
So we were walking around on the main chunk of base here. Over that way is our bay post building. That's where we outfit all of our crews. So we keep all of the winter gear that you might need. The big winter boots, the clothing, the mittens, all of that stuff. So you can come from Florida, Texas, Georgia, somewhere where it doesn't get that cold, and have all the stuff that you need here without having to buy all that. So that's one of the cool things about our UPEC program.
You had that experience, right, Aaron?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, I was going to say, I visited one time in the winter. I'm from down here in Texas, and they gave me everything I needed to be quite warm. That's a great point. I'm glad that you said that because I think maybe a lot of people think, oh, man, I bet that requires a lot of gear. Well, it does require some gear to be comfortable out there. Northern Tier has that gear for you. So it's very, very cool. Look how amazing it looks.
Yeah, Blake, what are we looking at now?
We're going to be really quiet because the canoes are sleeping because it's winter. But here's our fleet of canoes. We have over 500 canoes as part of the Northern Tier program, and scouts get to take these out. We use the Kevlar boats. That way we're able to, they're super lightweight, so you can carry them across portages easily. And this is our lodge building. And it's just a winter wonderland out here.
It's just wild to me that this is just a random Tuesday and we get to peek into this place that scouts have access to. Y'all are opening up, I think, in a few days for your first treks of the winter season. So cool.
viewer Jason who's
Old.
watching recognizes the lodge. He spotted the lodge there. Jason must have been there before. Yeah, again, if you had to choose somewhere to go on a winter trek, if you're not a scout, this is exactly the area that a lot of people would choose. What a cool, amazing, unique opportunity that scouts have to go and visit it as a part of scouting. Again, if your troop normally goes to a high adventure base, a lot of troops will go to a high adventure base every single year. You probably already know the routine. If you're part of a troop that doesn't normally do that, that's okay. We're going to talk about that a little bit more later, but ask your scoutmaster, ask a parent, ask somebody in your council, hey, I want to go to Northern Tier. I want to go to the Summit, Bechtel Reserve. I want to go to Florida Sea Base, wherever it is. We can get you there. You can get it done.
Northern Tier is getting a ton of love in the comments.
It
I want
really
to
is,
highlight
yeah.
Kim's comment real quick. My son's experience at Northern Tier's Forest Corps program inspired him to be a wildlife biologist. Pretty cool. Oh,
And look, that looked like a shelter to me. Now, I'm not an expert on winter survival, but that looks like an igloo or a lean-to. What is that, Blake?
So we call this a quinzee.
Quinzee.
All right. So there's a big pile of snow that you hollow out and you sleep inside it. So snow is insulative. So it can be, negative 20 Fahrenheit outside and like 20 degrees inside of here.
Oh, it's only 20, Gina, inside there. It's
wow.
all.
Look, he's inside of it. It'll never make
But-
sense to me that a big pile of snow is a warm place to be, but
Exactly. I think it's 40 degrees warmer in there than it is outside there. Is that right, Blake?
Yeah. It gets
That's
the
crazy.
snow is insulation and it's usually nice and warm in here. So it's great when it's cold out. And it's kind of a fun thing to do to have your own little snow cave.
so cool. We also can't breeze past. I know we have to let you go here in a second. But we can't breeze past. You mentioned the sled dog
Yep,
program.
yep.
Like, it's so cool, unique. Where else would you get a chance to do something like that?
Yeah, there's sled dogging, ice fishing, snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, I believe, is an option out there. Am I right about that, Blake?
Yeah, we do all of those things and more.
Just
We
about.
even play sports like broom ball,
Mhm.
which is like a version of hockey. We do ice skating. We have a lot of fun in the winter.
I'm pretty sure I recognize this trail, Gina. I think when I was there, it's been a while, but I think we took sled dogs right down this trail right here, if I remember. There's a frozen lake down there somewhere. That may be a little bit further down the road, but it is truly an amazing, winter wonderland. It's not an exaggeration. It's really incredible.
Dave is laughing. Did you just say that Northern Tier is so cool? Looks pretty cool to me right now. Absolutely. Lisa is excited about the sled dogs. Also says she was hoping you saw some wildlife, but the canoes are sleeping made me laugh. Me too.
Yeah.
Everybody, thanks for your comments. I've got our final winner from Northern Tier who's going to get a belt. Pretty cool. It's Carlos and Amy Chris Gomez who are watching. Look, you brought the belt.
There's the
That's a lot
belt.
of
Yes, she's
forethought.
got
Yeah.
the belt.
Very cool.
That is awesome. Blake, before we let you go, what else do people need to know about Northern Tier?
It is an incredible experience. It is tight knit and it is wilderness. You are really out there. It's an awesome experience for your crew and an awesome bonding experience for your troop.
The visuals speak for themselves and the
Yeah.
comments speak for themselves. There's obviously a lot of wonderful experiences out at Northern Tier.
I want to emphasize one more thing that he said, Gina. It's not about surviving, right? It's really about just being comfortable and safe out there. So it's not like it's some sort of test of how well can you handle being frozen. It's more like how can you prepare yourself to be comfortable out there and experience such
Beyond that, even
Yes,
how can you
exactly.
thrive out there and have fun? It's not you're not
Exactly.
worried about staying warm. You're worried about doing the fun
You're
things.
just
And
having
look,
fun.
Blake's doing the
Exactly.
perfect example of
That's-
that right now.
This
Yeah.
I think that's a frozen lake right there, right, Blake?
That it is. It's not quite thick enough to walk on yet.
Well, don't walk
do it.
out there then. We don't want to capture that. But yeah, I remember going down that trail when I was there, Gina. It's amazing.
It's beautiful. Wow.
Look at
I
that.
don't want to leave.
I know. We do have one more high adventure base to cover. Hey, Blake, thanks so much, man, for taking us on this tour. This is awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Good luck next week, I guess. 8 days, right?
Yep, they'll be here soon.
Very cool. Everybody, be sure to put Northern Tier on your list of the list of 4 high adventure bases to consider as you're planning your treks. I think we're going to do like a total 180 here, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is kind of from one extreme to the other. Just as a reminder, registration for the summit for Northern Tier for Florida Sea Base opens on January 14th. You've got about a month, a little over a month, to think about which one you want to do, how you're going to do it, come up with plans for fundraising and things like that.
And we should call out Philmont treks are also open for registration right now. Actually, it's just that they've been open for a little while.
The only reason we're not talking about them today is because they opened a month or so ago. I think it was. Yep.
Right.
So that's why we're focusing on our final guest is going to be, talk about one extreme to the other. We're going from Ely, Minnesota to the Florida Keys. Tim, do you read us? We can't hear Tim.
Hi,
Tim
Base. How are you?
Good, Tim.
Hi.
Boy, it looks like, look at Tim's out there in his short sleeves, in his sunglasses, right on the water there. Poor Blake just go. Blake was actually, I shouldn't say poor Blake. He was actually very comfortable up there. Yeah, exactly.
He chose to go out there.
Exactly. He was very comfortable. Tim looks very comfortable too. How are things going at Sea Base, Tim?
Well, I would tell you that one of the most amazing winter wilderness experiences in all of scouting is certainly at Northern Tier. But if you're the type of individual that wants a wilderness experience and maybe is a little bit afraid of the cold, our average temperature this time of year is about 74 degrees. So when you talk about winter wilderness adventures, instead of wearing snowshoes, you can always put on a pair of flip-flops and come down to Sea Base. So there are plenty of different options at all of the National High Adventure bases. And if you don't come to Sea Base, please do go to Philmont Northern Tier Summit. There are experiences everywhere, but if you're looking for a warm weather excursion, Sea Base is the place to be.
All of the high adventure bases, all of our leaders there are so supportive of one another, and we really appreciate that. We love to see the shout outs to the other high adventure bases there on the table. So that's very cool. It's no secret that Sea Base is super popular. If you want to get your ideal trek there, you've got to plan now. The registration is going to open, so you want to have a plan for what you're looking to do and who you're looking to do it with. Also, before we get too busy in this, I think we have a giveaway to do at the top of this segment. Florida Sea Base has generously offered up a Nalgene, a Florida Sea Base Nalgene, actually two of them. And one of them we're going to give away right now to Ryan Fieldhacker. Ryan, thank you very much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ryan.
And as promised, at the end of this segment, we're going to talk about Sea Base for a bit here, but we're also going to talk about camper ships, how you get there, fundraising, all that jazz is on the way. So if you have those questions, stay tuned. Watch till the end of the show. Tim, let's talk about Sea Base. What can folks, what kind of adventures could somebody partake in if you're heading out there for a trek?
Well, of course, we have our amazing adventures in the Bahamas. All of those are sailing programs. So you can choose to have a crew of 8, you can choose to have a crew of 12, or you can choose to have a crew of 20. You sail in the Sea of Abaco, in one of the premier sailing grounds in the world, right? And then we also have our sailing programs in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where you circumnavigate St. John, which is one of the least visited national parks in the United States of America. You can hike up to petroglyphs. You can watch through the rainforest, amazing cascading waterfalls as they come down. Of course, snorkeling and fishing and all of the adventures that you would normally find in the U.S. Virgin Islands at your fingertips, living aboard a sailboat. And then here in the Florida Keys, we have the Britain Environmental Center, where we also own Big Munson Island, Scouting's only owned island in the United States of America, from the national office perspective anyway. Montana just got a little bit angry with me because they do own an island. But here in the Florida Keys, we own an island, Big Munson Island. You use Polynesian war canoes and you kayak 5.6 miles out in the ocean towards Cuba. It's closer to Cuba than it is to Miami. From that point on, you have an amazing multi-adventure in which you're deep sea fishing, you're fishing from the shore, you're catching and tagging sharks, you're kayaking, you're paddleboarding, you're doing a little bit of everything while living on Scouting's own island here in the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. Then we also have the Keys Adventure Program, which is a mixture of everything that we offer here in the Florida Keys wrapped into one individual program, along with the trip to historic Key West. We have a fishing program that's fishing all the time, all day, and even some evenings. And then we have an amazing marine eco adventure program where we have over 16,000 threatened and endangered coral in our land-based coral nursery, and our participants from beginning to end help with that outplanting process. Just last week, our staff outplanted 2,600 coral into the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary to help save the Florida Barrier Reef. And that couldn't happen without the young men and women that come down and participate in that program. So it really is, we have a program for everyone, and most of our programs start at the age of 12. So other than our scuba programs, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and our sailing programs in Isla Mirada, most of our programs start at the age of 12, which means right now, if you're a Weeblo sitting at home saying, man, I can't wait to do high adventure, you're really only a year away. Right? If you're a Cub Master and you're sitting at home, I was a Cub Master myself for both of for Pac 914 here in the Florida Keys. You need to start thinking about, where am I going? What am I going to be doing as my next step in adventure? And Seabase can be that first introduction to adventure for you. Additionally, we have accessible programs, and we call them coasts, meaning that individuals with special needs can attend Seabase along with the rest of their unit as they would normally attend any other camp and participate in our adventures. Maybe they can't snorkel, but we're going to provide them with an underwater robot so they can still explore the underwater wilderness. So in terms of accessibility, Seabase is the camp for you. In terms of, if you're an 11-year-old and you're going to be turning 12, or if you're 10 and a half and you're going to be turning 12, we have an adventure for you here in the Florida Keys. And then let's talk a little bit about our programs in Isla Mirada. It's all of our sailing programs wrapped up into our base. And if you look behind us, you'll see all of our scuba related vessels. Seabase is a 5-star PADI IDC Instructional Development Resort center, and is trains as many scuba divers, youth scuba divers, as anyone else in the world. So our safety is impeccable. Our ability to serve young people is impeccable, and the ability to learn to breathe underwater is an experience unlike any other.
Yeah, Jason in the comments says his Arrow of Light Scouts are looking forward to doing the scuba adventure at Florida Seabase when they're old enough. So Gina, we've visited with folks from 3 different high adventure bases, 3 different locations, all of them located in basically the spot you would want to be. Again, people from across the country, if you had to choose a spot to where you're going to go snorkeling or scuba diving or fishing or sailing, Florida Keys is where folks would go. As scouts, you have such a cool opportunity to go. I've been to Isla Mirada. What a cool experience that is. Primitive camping. There's also dorms right there, right, Tam, where you could stay if that's not for you. So just like at the other adventure bases, there's a big variety. Speaking of scuba, Tim, I can't remember when someone goes down there to get certified, do they get certified 100% down there, or do they have to do some stuff at home first before they get there?
So we have 5 different exciting scuba programs. One is a certification program where you come down as a non-scuba diver, and we train you all the way through the PADI process to ensure that you're ready to go and you're certified by the time you leave. Then we have an adventure program for individuals that are already certified, and they come down and they participate. And then we have a scuba live aboard program where you live aboard a sailboat throughout the course of the week, sailing from reef to reef and wreck to wreck, and scuba diving all along the way, right? And then we have another program that is a marine base educational program, in which young people have an opportunity to come down and help restore the Florida Barrier Reef as part of their experience. It's an advanced course. Typically, those individuals are going to be 14 years of age or older. However, the cutoff age is 13 for all of our programs. And then we're announcing a brand new exciting program beginning in 2026, which is a brand new scuba program in which you sail aboard a sailboat for half the week, and then you scuba dive for the other half of the week. So you get the very best of a sailing experience along with the very best of a scuba experience in one single program. So that is our brand new exciting program that we are announcing today.
That is awesome.
That is some exclusive news for all of you watching. We talk about how each high adventure base is like the pinnacle of a certain experience or a certain few experiences. This thing, sitting here thinking about the Florida Keys, it calls to mind how many historical figures have just gone out there to live and fish and just embrace life. So it's another place that's like, you just don't get that experience anywhere. We're going to get into that in a second. I think, I don't know, Tim, if you're reading the comments, but you spoke to many people's questions. Erica's talking about her son. Thank you for mentioning that, some of our younger scouts actually can get out to sea base. And also a reminder for you all, when this registration opens, we're talking about 2026. So we're planning ahead.
Right.
We're not talking about just thinking of this coming summer. So think about how old your youth will be at that time. I don't think I've ever met a scout, whether they were fully into the program or they just saw it as like a passing hobby, who would not fully go for the high adventure bases. I think often what comes up is, I can't, like, this is a dream. I can't afford it. I could never get out there. How would I ever make it? Yeah.
Right.
Right.
It seems almost like unobtainable to maybe some people but Tim, I think that's not the case. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? How would you allay some of those concerns of folks who might be thinking, this looks too expensive, I don't think I could ever do this?
Absolutely. As a unit leader myself, in my unit, just like every other unit across the street, we have individuals that can pay to go to summer camp. And we also have individuals that have to raise the funds to go to a national camp. Personally, my unit travels out of state for every single summer camp experience, which is expensive, right? And we all know that it can be expensive, but there are amazing fundraising opportunities in every single community in the country. So whether you're selling popcorn or having dinners with your troop, it is a very attainable goal, going to a national high adventure base. And I would say that every young person involved in the scouting movement should have the opportunity to go to Philmont, Sea Base, Northern Tier, or the Summit. Each of the experiences are world-class experiences. There's no better place to go hiking in the United States of America than Philmont Scout Ranch. There's no better place to learn how to canoe and go canoeing than Northern Tier. There's no better place to have a multi-adventure or a whitewater rafting experience than Summit Bechtel Reserve. And of course, everyone wants to come to paradise, right? Everybody wants to be in the Bahamas, the U.S. Virgin Islands, or the Florida Keys doing one of the 19 adventures we have. But as an adult leader myself, what I would tell you, and I would speak directly to all of the adults that are watching today, is it's a very attainable program, provided you plan ahead of time, right? The reason we make reservations 2 years in advance for the 2026 season is because we know that it's going to take some time to organize travel. We know that it's going to take some time to organize some of the fundraisers that you need. But if you're doing adequate fundraising for your unit at home, it is completely attainable. It is something that you can do. There are people in your community that will support you along the way. And of course, your council has a plethora of opportunities to raise funds, whether that's through camp cards or popcorn sales or whatever types of fundraisers they have at the council office. If you look at the pricing and you say, this is just not something we can do, you're automatically saying no to an amazing adventure and a lifelong memory that you're going to have either as a parent with your son or daughter, or as an adult leader who has a group of young people that really deserve the opportunity to go to a national high adventure base.
Yeah, fundraising, I think we talked about this last year. Fundraising it's not like an obstacle to get to go.
Right.
It is part of the experience. And we hear time and time again, youth appreciate these experiences more because they put the hard work in to make it possible to go. This is unique to other fundraising too, in that your youth are working to actually raise money to do the thing. They're not just raising it for some abstract thing and they don't know where it's going. They'll potentially be very driven for this. So thank you for highlighting how this is attainable and we are working ahead. Aaron, I think last year when we talked about this, you and I both ran into scouts who were fundraising, one to go to Sea Base and one to go to Northern Tier.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, both unrelated. I think both at our local grocery stores in our respective neighborhoods. You see a scout out there in a uniform selling. I think they were selling popcorn. The young man in my area, and he just was, very eloquently said, "Yeah, we're raising money to go to." I can't remember if it was Philmont or where it was, but yeah, I mean it's a great opportunity. And like you said, Gina, I mean, it was part of the experience for these guys. This was what they were doing. They were thrilled to be able to go. They were excited to have their opportunity to work, to pay for it themselves. What a great lesson that is, right? It's just part of the whole thing.
Tim, it was funny because the youth that I ran into was raising for going to Sea Base. He was outside of the grocery store and he was kind of chilled out when I walked by him, and I was the one that eagerly approached him, and he was like, I actually just earned everything I need to go to Seabase, but yeah, I'm happy to sell you some popcorn. Like, he had kicked back after a lot of hard work, so it was pretty cool. Tim, I'm about to do our final giveaway here, but I've got to ask, what have we missed?
Well, one of the things that I think is very important to say, and it coincides with fundraising, is each one of the National High Adventure Bases has a foundation, and they award scholarships to young men and women who may not have the financial wherewithal to come to a National High Adventure Base. So if you're looking at it and you're saying, we just don't know that we can get there financially, we do have, and within the High Adventure Department, we give away hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year to units just like the unit leaders that are watching this today. We give away hundreds of thousands of dollars to adults and youth that need money to attend and participate at a National High Adventure Base. So if it comes down to money, never, ever, ever let money be the final indicator of whether or not you're going to a High Adventure Base. There are scholarship dollars, there are fundraising opportunities you can get here. So the last thing that I would say, not only about Seabase, but about all of the National High Adventure Bases, is each one of our locations is owned and operated by the National Office of Scouting America. You are going to get a safe experience. You're going to get an amazing experience. We're going to do our best to be accessible to your unit and your unit's needs. We are going to provide you with the best experience that you can in these types of environments. You can go canoeing a lot of different places, but Northern Tier is truly special because they have a heart of a scout. Right? You can go to any one of the National High Adventure Bases and you're going to get the same level of service. You're going to get the same level of commitment. You're going to get the same level of safety. So if you decide not to come to Seabase today, decide to go to Philmont, decide to go to Northern Tier, decide to go to the Summit. And each one of us are going to be here waiting for you and your unit to provide you with a world-class experience. So we look forward to serving you within the National High Adventure Department.
Yeah, these guys have been so friendly and nice to us today. I think you and I can attest, Aaron, that when you go out to a High Adventure Base, everyone is equally nice. They're very welcoming. You're never lost. You're never wondering, what am I supposed to do? This is a new environment. I mean, someone shows you you're in good hands for sure.
It's the scouting way. I mean, that's just how we do it. It's a great opportunity. If you're watching this video and you've never been to a National High Adventure Base, if this is the first you're hearing about our National High Adventure Base program, congratulations. Welcome to the club. I was just going to say, there's the website. Go to the website, explore the different bases. They list all the different itineraries, different activities. Like Tim and our other guests said today, you know, there's something for everybody at these bases. You could spend the night outdoors. You could spend the night on a rustic island with no electricity or running water. You could spend the night in an igloo. You could spend the night on a lake somewhere. There are multiple opportunities, or you could spend the night in a dorm with air conditioning. So there are lots of opportunities. Go to the websites, click around, see what you like. The time is now to start thinking about what you're going to do for a future trip to a High Adventure Base. This has been so cool, Gina. I think we do have one more item to give away. Am I right?
Yes, we've got a Nalgene from Seabase headed to Lisa Kroll. Lisa, thanks for commenting along all day with us. And I know a few of you have mentioned you have Cub Scouts. We'll talk about Family Adventure Camp and a Trek on Tuesday soon. We'll talk about how your whole family can get involved and head to a High Adventure Base. And of course, as Tim highlighted, some of your older youth may be able to take part in a trek at Seabase. So bookmark our website here, scouting.org/adventure-treks. You can also put your email address in there, I believe, and it will keep you updated the second registration opens. You really do want to jump on that, especially if you're pretty picky about which trek, which adventure you want to take part in. Make sure you head there. Tim, thanks for hanging on with us a little after we promised you we would let you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have plenty to do, so thank you.
Yeah.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you all, and look forward to serving you at a High Adventure Base.
That sounds great, Tim. Thanks so much for joining us today. Yeah, I love what Tim said. It's winter somewhere, right? It's winter in Florida Seabase right now. By the way, I'll just maybe, if I could, Gina, I'll address Erica's question real quick. Swamp Base, there are other bases out there. Swamp Base is run by the local council down there in South Louisiana.
Super
There's one
cool.
down in South Texas. It's also very cool. Today we're talking about the National High Adventure Bases. These are the 4 properties that are run by the National Council. There are other camping experiences that are very, very fun. If Swamp Base is for you, I highly recommend it. Go there. Very cool. That's operated by the council down there in Louisiana, and there's other places like that. So just a minor little distinction there. Thank you for watching, Erica. Great question. Gina, this has been really fun. I hope we shared a lot of good information today. Again, the date is January 14th. That's when registration opens. I don't think you necessarily need to do it at 12:01 a.m. that morning, right? But
I don't know. Some people do because they really want. I mean, some of these treks fill up really fast. It's true.
It's a good idea to do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Philmont's already been open for a month or 6 weeks, maybe something like that. So certainly keep Philmont in mind. The Summit, Sea Base, Northern Tier, all open January 14th. It's an amazing experience.
Oh, let me say one more thing on that too, Aaron. Now, I know I'm emphasizing that you need to jump on it quickly, and we'll remind you of this. But if you miss your chance there on like the adventure that you're looking to get into, take heart, because there are a lot. Like, not everything's going to fill up right away. There will be opportunities in the days that follow, in the weeks that follow. So don't give up hope if you don't get exactly what you were hoping for.
Yeah, I've said this a couple of times, but there are multiple different programs at each base with different dates, different activities. So yeah, like I said, great idea to start at the website right there that behind the scenes Brian has just so helpfully thrown up on the screen. Explore the different bases virtually, right? From the comfort of your phone or computer. Look at the different itineraries, try to figure out what's best for you. Talk about it with your fellow scouts, your scout leader, your council, see what they have planned. Come to a consensus on what you want to do.
Ask questions on the High Adventure pages as well, on the Facebook pages. Like Northern Tier is offering some clarification. Dog treks at Northern Tier sell out very quickly. And some of them are just resource limited. I know that happens, I believe, with the ATV treks at the Summit as well. So if you want to be a part of those specifically, you really got to jump on it. And you can find out what those are by interacting with the social media pages of the High Adventure bases, or heading to their website, filling out the contact form, whatever you need to do, or asking us. We'll find out. We know these guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like Tim said, they're eager to serve you guys. They're looking forward to seeing everybody this summer, next winter, in perpetuity. It's an amazing experience. Gina, what else? We covered everything.
We could keep talking about these forever. Bill, Blake, and Tim are welcome back anytime. Yes. We love talking about High Adventure bases. We will be talking more about them probably when registration opens. We'll be back at this with a similar episode. So that'll be good.
As Gina mentioned, we'll also talk about Family Adventure Camp, which is another way to visit the High Adventure bases. Thanks so much to Bill and Tim and Blake for joining us today. This has been an awesome show. Congratulations to our winners. Thanks to all of you who commented along. Again, there's the website. Go check it out. Thank you all for watching, folks. We'll see you later. Bye, everybody.